Good afternoon, everyone. To the members of the SBMA Board of Directors, headed by our chairman, Mr. Chairman Martin Dino, representatives of our LGU partners, my kuyas and ates, thank you very much for being here. The president, officials, and members of the Subic Bay Freeport Chamber of Commerce, members of the Freeport community, our locators, their staff, ang aking mga kasamang naglilingkod dahil sa bayan muna ako. To my family and friends who are also here for their support, I know Tita Kate is here somewhere. Thank you very much for coming, ma'am. It's my honor to have you here and witness my first Freeport address. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Self-sufficient ako, masare, so I have to do this on my own too. Tama ba? There you go. I'd like to start off with a comparison of the first quarter of 2016 to 2017 to be able to show you the difference and how we have improved or the movement of SBMA in the same quarter for last year and this year. Our financial performance, as you can see, it's all very positive. And we even have a net income of 148.69%. This is all largely due to a net income coming from interest income and from bank deposits and investments. For business and investments, we have an increased import value of 321%, largely to importation of tax-paid petroleum. And we also have an increase in export value by 10%, due to the very first Philippine Subic-made very large crude carrier that's produced by Hanjin in January 2017, and another 3 units of various vessels from then till March 2017. For job generation, when the US bases closed in 1992, we, the people of Olongapo, Bataan, and Subic were all desperate because we're going to lose 35,000 jobs. We thought we were all gonna die. I'm very, very proud to tell you right now, 25 years later, we have long surpassed those numbers. As of February 2017, we have 115,272 workers inside the Subic Bay Freeport. For the contribution to the national economy, we've again all positive numbers. Our LGU share have increased by 30.58%, the same as the government share, the national government share by 30.58%. Our partners with the Bureau of Internal Revenue and the Bureau of Customs also showed an increase in their collections. For Seaport, while our volumes are still positive, there's only a very slight increase in non-containerized cargo vessel volume because China finally opened its gates to ultra-large vessels for iron ore shipments. Thus, the iron ore ship-to-ship operations of Vale Inc. has ceased. The number of ship calls also decreased a little bit because of the implementation of Republic Act 10668, known as the Foreign Ships Co-Loading Act, which aims to help cut logistics costs and ease restrictions on foreign ships to transport, import, and export cargo directly to, from, and any local port. But do not despair. We are working hard to make this go up. For tourism, we also have a negative data, as you can see right now. There are some things from last quarter, 2016 first quarter to 2017 first quarter that's made a little bit of the difference. The DepEd ban for field trips have affected us tremendously because of this. This became effective in February 2017. Holy Week this year was in April. So our figures for Holy Week is not included in this slide. So, and I'm sure you know that's a lot of figures. And most of the graduation rites that's being held exactly here in this same venue will just start now in April. And some major events, some major MICE events will only start in the second to third quarter of this year. As to manpower for SBMA, as you know, as a government agency, our mandate is to decrease and eventually eliminate our casual and contractual employees. We are now in the process of slowly doing that, but making sure that our employees are properly protected. Down the year, when we are, this year or next year or in the next few years when we are supposed to fully implement this, we ask our locators for help to be able to reach out to our SBMA employees who will have to cease employment with the government because the Department of Budget and Management does not allow it anymore. Internal and external customer feedback. We have very good rating. However, there's still poor rating. And I know there's a lot to be desired. There's a lot to be done. I hope one day I'll be able to stand here with you, in front of you, and we'll have 0 poor rating, both for service and staff. That's the dream that we hope to be able to accomplish while I'm here in SBMA. Highlights of the first quarter. We recently soft opened the shoe factory Datian. This is the maker of Vans, Skechers, Dr. Martens shoes, which is projected to create 2,500 jobs. We also broke ground for Toyota Subic, 150 million multi-level showroom and service center here in Gateway Park. We also signed several memorandum of agreements with investment promotion agencies to implement integrated, collaborative, and harmonized investment programs. In the last board meeting, I'm very proud to announce we've recently approved the proposal of Dynamic Construct, a Philippine-Singaporean firm that proposes to invest 42 billion in Redondo Peninsula for an industrial park development and renewable energy project. Earlier, I told you that we lost the iron ore ship-to-ship transshipment. Again, do not despair. Tomorrow will be the start of the first STS LNG ship-to-shore transshipment here in Subic and here in the Philippines. An approval of the board last March allowed this to happen. MV Seri Bhakti with 144,000 cubic liters of liquefied natural gas will be arriving tomorrow, while the daughter vessel is already here waiting for the mother vessel for the transshipment of liquefied natural gas. This will actually give us an annual revenue of 200 million pesos. During also in the last board meeting, we approved the proposal of DM Leisure Corporation for a 4.6 billion golf course and leisure complex project. SBMA is very active with the Philippine Investment Promotion Plan, and was in fact tasked to lead the Australia-New Zealand mission somewhere in August 2017. Picture here are my brothers and sisters in the local government unit, various local government units of SBMA when we gave the 3% share under RA 7227, and we have committed to. Together, we've committed that the expansion of the Freeport and use this revenue to be able to improve infrastructure in their various areas. Now, that's how we are in the last quarter vis-a-vis the first quarter of 2016. I hope you'll allow me to share a few more slides on how we would hope to move forward here in Subic Bay Freeport. Winning through excellence. Vince Lombardi once said, winning means you're willing to go longer, work harder, and give more than anyone else. This is the very essence of malasakit, kusang loob, and the spirit of volunteerism. To me, this is what winning through excellence means. As you all know, I am born, bred, and raised here in Olongapo City. I'm one of the more than 8,000 volunteers who stepped up to protect Subic when there's hardly any hope to move forward, but only a vision, a dream that kept us all going, inspired by one man. A group of people who gave everything even when there's nothing else to give, in the hope that all our hard work will bear fruit and give a better future to our children. 25 years later, and I have come full circle. I am home. Having no political agenda, I do not make my decisions based on what is popular. I do not make recommendations to the board because I want to be accepted. I make and will always make decisions bearing in mind the best interest of SBMA. I encourage each and everyone to continue the shared and live values like all the thousands of volunteers lived 25 years ago. Malasakit at kusang loob. Giving freely of oneself even when there's nothing else to give in order to contribute to a higher and bigger cause. In a easier way to understand it, we have to give a shit. We also have to acknowledge taking on the plight of one as the plight of all. In other words, hindi pwedeng deadma. Hindi pwedeng ma at pa. Again, I go back. We are all in this together. Discipline and perseverance. We have to impose and implement laws, rules, and regulations strictly. Through the years, natuto tayong magsabing, pwede na yan. Natuto tayong magsabi, okay na yan. Sinabi natin, pwede na rin yan. Okay na yan. And that should not be the case. SBMA or Subic has always been a guiding light to the Philippines because it shows the example of following laws, following rules, and we should not stop doing that just because it's not in style. We all have to work hard. All have to work well and do what is right, even when no one is around, even when no one is looking, despite any difficulty. Discipline imposed from the outside is eventually defeated when it's not matched by a desire from within, said Dawson Tronman. Kailangan, we have to be conscious that we are not here to please everybody else. We are not here to please one man. We are all here to push the agenda of SBMA and the Subic Freeport and nobody else. We also have to respect each other for one's work, regardless of our job and regardless of one's rank and nature. Hindi porke administrator, hindi ako dapat naiinitan. In fact, dahil administrator ako, dapat naiinitan ako. To those who were here last Holy Week, if you would notice, when I went out to visit all the sentries and the tourism spots, I did not wait until it was malilim. I went out there at the middle of the day, pag tirik na tirik ng araw, when the sun was at its highest. Because my people are out there suffering under the heat. Just because I was their fashionable CEO does not mean I will have to wait until there's a shade. If they're working hard, I should be working harder. And I expect each and everyone to do the same. All these values have formed Subic's spirit of volunteerism in the past. These are what have inspired our volunteers to walk the extra mile and work harder and to give themselves. These are the values that have kept Subic's environment and surroundings clean, green, safe, secure. These same values continue to be our battle cry and stepping stone to the Subic Bay Freeport of the future. This will be our anchor for the future we are trying to shape today. I come here in Subic alone. When I got appointed, sa totoo lang po, I never applied for this job, and I have been telling you this over and over again. But when I got appointed, I took it as a challenge, and I took it as an opportunity to come back and to work with the best people I have worked with when I first started working. When I first came here, I was alone. I did not bring any members of my personal staff. Until now, I did not bring any consultant. Wala akong alalay. Ni wala po akong sariling driver. Ni wala po akong sariling security. Wala rin po akong sariling department head wala akong sariling DA, wala akong sariling SDA. Because I've always believed in the people of Subic and the people of SBMA that the best people are here. I am here to provide leadership and vision, to guide with my heart and my moral compass. That's the only thing I can offer. And I hope it will be enough to go together with courage and strength to lead the way. On that note, I would like to start with a 10-point agenda that we hope will be able to shape our vision for Subic Bay. First, policy reforms and good governance programs. We need to intensify our campaign against corruption, smuggling, and illicit trade. I'd like to dwell on corruption. If somebody approaches you and said, the administrator will need pocket money to go to the US, please don't. My mother will give me that pocket money anytime. Please do not believe anybody who comes to you and represent that the administrator needs something. I don't need anything. I only need you to follow the rules and regulations, pay your rent, pay your kusa, pay your ETAF. That's pretty much anything and everything I need. Magmalasakit, maglinis ng paligid nyo. Please lang. Kung nakita nyong basura, pulutin nyo na. Yun lang po ang kailangan ko. And I'm sure I share this with all the members of the board, with the chairman. If somebody tells you, ibalato nyo na to kay chairman, huwag kayong maniwala, sapagkat hindi totoo yan. Or, if you still want to believe it, dial *8888. Because this should not be happening. If you do not do anything, that's also corruption by complicit. You are actually aiding and abetting. So kung nakikita mo, if you're seeing it already, if you can actually see it with your eyes, you have to do something. You have to come forward. I actually joined Ms. Rose Baldeo's call earlier. Come forward. Because we have to fight this together. And again, I go back, and I keep on telling this to my SBMA team, pretty much in all flag ceremonies. If you see it and you don't say anything, then you are guilty. So do come forward, because we have to fight this together. I cannot fight it alone. Smuggling and illicit trade, I beg you. The Freeport under the law pretty much can accept anything, but you cannot take them out without payment of taxes. I beg each and every one, let's look out for each other. Because the Bureau of Customs also cannot do it alone. The law enforcement cannot do it alone. I reach out and call on your moral compass to please not do it. This is our home. Kung ginagawa ng hindi taga rito, I call on the people not taga rito. Do not let them do it to us. Because again, this is our home. This is our children's future. After they've made their dime and they've made their peso in SBMA and then Subic Bay Freeport, they will leave. But you will be here. I will be here. My family will be here. So we all need to protect this together. We'd like to be able to support the proposed amendment for Republic Act 7227, it's IRR, in the House of Representatives and in the Senate. We hope to be able, through this amendment of the law, we hope to be able to extend effectivities of CRs and CRTEs and strengthen our law enforcement mandate. We'd also like to support the incentive package for investors through BOI's modernizing the Philippine incentive regime. The modernizing fiscal incentive regime will put a cap on incentives, but will keep the basic incentives that we have right now. It will also at the same time add new ones, including probably an income tax holiday that I know all of you are hoping and wanting to get implemented here in Subic Bay Freeport. Of course, we need to support President Duterte's on the end of contractualizations initiative. This is very important. It is important for all the labor for our labor employment out there. It's also important for us to support the President's thrust that this end, and I ask the locators to please help us in this campaign. Second point is sustainable development. We need to maintain a reputation as a clean environment, friendly business and tourist destination. A few weeks ago, I got interviewed. Bakit daw ang hilig ko sa malinis? Why do I like being, why I kept on talking about, picking up the trash, saving water. And I think it's Inquirer.net who asked me, are you an environmental advocate? And I said, if I say I'm an environmental advocate, I'll be a hypocrite, because I'm not. But then again, do you really want to go to a beach that's dirty? Do you really want to go out to a park that's dirty? Do you really want to do business where there's trash everywhere? So I think it's really basic common sense that we need to keep our home clean. We'd like to broaden various coastal cleanup drives, hopefully with the help of our local LGU partners. I know the locators and investors are looking forward to putting back the garbage collection in tip-top shape. We're already looking at that for a quality garbage collection and ground maintenance services through outsourcing. We're also going to start port dredging activities. It has been 25 years since we took over the former U.S. naval facilities. Those port areas needs to be dredged, and we will start it this year. We also work to address the need for alternative water sources and sewage and septage facilities. And of course, SBMA is currently working and securing a certification for the 2015 Environment Management System, or ISO 14001. Safety and security. I know this is a sore point again. I'm sure all of you will have all complaints and will say things have been different. We will not want to do that, make that happen again. We'd like to improve public safety and security for tourists, visitors, residents, locators, and workers at all times. We'd like to improve our land, sea security, forest security, and we are now currently in the process of securing security equipment. In fact, over the weekend, Director Lahum and I were actually chatting about new fire trucks and even possibly a new helicopter ambulance, hopefully before the end of our term. We also need to work at establishing an SBMA cyber security protocol. This is provided for under Republic Act 10175. We also recently implemented under Executive Order Number 2 a Freedom of Information Committee, which is headed by our department, which is headed by our Deputy Administrator for Legal. We need to work on intensifying a campaign for drug-free Freeport. I beg you guys, we need to work on this very hard. My family has been affected by drug use in the past, and I know how it affects families, personalities, individuals. And this is something that we cannot tolerate here. I hope we'll keep our eyes open. I hope we can rely on our LGU partners, because since we are sharing all our boundaries and meets and bounds, we hope we can ask your own law enforcement departments, your Philippine National Police, the PIDEA, to be able to help us monitor drug use, a drug sale, not just here in Subic Bay Freeport, but in all our boundaries and facilities. We also have to monitor locator company safety programs across the Freeport. We need to make this happen because we need to make Freeport safe for everyone. Again, I go back. We need to revitalize culture of volunteerism, discipline, malasakit, at kusang loob within the Freeport community. Kailangan po nating mag-alaga ng isa't isa because sabi nga nila, no man is an island. So we have to work together to make this happen. We need to coordinate with local government units to develop capacity building programs, not just to indigenous people, but to volunteers, to increase in competencies for more quality jobs. We'd like to seek locators' assistance at volunteer employment program, and we'd like to revisit SBMA policies on educational institutions. Apparently, when I got here, I thought, kawawa talaga yung mga taga-SBMA because we couldn't even offer scholarship programs. But apparently, there is one. SBMA employees and volunteers actually have slots on scholarship programs from various schools within SBMA. All they need to do is apply. So we have to work harder to make this information known. And we also have to encourage our children to work hard to qualify for these scholarships. Locator service excellence. This is very important. We have to implement a cut the red tape project. I'm very sad that when I came here 25 years later, when I first worked here in Subic, there's not even a working one-stop shop. With the help of our board of director, Benny Antiporda, and team from Director Sanyo, we are actually working on it right now. It will be at the former DFS facility, where we're going to start working on the repairs, and hopefully it will be up in the next couple of months with computerization and improved facilities. And we hope that we'll be able to improve that later on from a one-stop shop to a non-stop shop. We have to institutionalize red carpet treatment to you, our locators, and institute streamlining of processes for issuance of certificate of registrations and various permits so that you can do business here in Subic with ease. We also have to keep working on making Subic as a Freeport, making Subic Freeport as a gateway. We need to improve container traffic and number of ship calls. Last week, Evergreen of Taiwan started its first ship call with 200 containers and should be doing so throughout the year. We had to intensify our pork marketing campaign. As I already told you, Evergreen started already last week, which should provide us a direct link from Korea to Taiwan and Subic. And we'll continue to promote a ship-to-ship business model, which is what's happening right now with the liquefied natural gas ship-to-ship model that we will start tomorrow. We also have to capitalize on Taiwan's southbound policy. I had the honor of being the only Filipino to have been invited in a forum last week in Taiwan, precisely for southbound policy. Southbound policy means Taiwan wants to go down and to go down south and bring all its investments, bring all its business down in its south, and we are right there. Tayo po ang nasa baba ng Taiwan. So we hope to be able to catch all that and improve more business relations with Taiwan. Right, Jeff? Right, Jeff? So we are very hopeful with Taiwan's southbound policy because this is a thrust of the Taiwan government. Taiwan President Tsai Ing-wen's to enhance cooperation and exchanges between Taiwan and Southeast Asian countries. It will build a new economic model that makes Taiwan less dependent on mainland China and reposition Taiwan as an important player in Asia's growth. Of course, we need to reestablish Subic Bay International Airport as a world-class structure. On behalf of SBMA, I would like to thank Senator Richard Gordon for allocating 500 million pesos so that we can upgrade all our aviation equipment and so that we can get back the Subic Bay International Airport running the soonest possible time. We will fast-track this acquisition of equipment and hope to be able to attract more planes and flights to come here in Subic. We are going to launch an aggressive marketing campaign so we can promote and revive domestic and international flight operations. As we speak, Sea Air will be taking 300 to 600 Chinese tourists weekly through Sea Air's Clark And we're hoping that they can actually fly out of Subic so that they don't have to go back to Clark. So they'll go down in Clark, 600 of them going down to Subic for a day or two, spending their money, and then going out via the Subic way, the SBIA way. We're also working right now in getting some cruise ships in. Genting Dream, a 2,000 cruise ship capacity, is already looking at docking here at Subic Bay Freeport. And I would like to, once this is confirmed, I would seek out the help of our LGU partners, because we have to put our best foot forward, not just for Subic, but for the best of Zambales, Bataan. Because when they come here, I want them to see not just us, but what can we offer. And we hope to have this coming very soon. We need to increase foreign direct investment and micro, small, medium enterprise here in SBMA. We need to promote and attract high technology industries, attract premier educational institutions. We also need to prioritize research and development, business processing, and information communications technology industries. With the entry of dynamic construct, when it develops its 994 hectares of land out in Redondo Peninsula, we hope to be able to attract all this investment to settle in that area. Can you imagine? Right now, a wasteland, a former practice range of the Americans, will actually generate probably double than the employment that we can generate now here in the Subic Bay Freeport. We also need to launch an aggressive marketing campaign to promote the Freeport, particularly as a marketing pivot to China and Russia. We need to maintain Taiwan, Japan, South Korea, and the US as a key FDI source. We need to create industry clusters for the next wave of manufacturing industries, and explore business incubator facilities to encourage startup technology-based investments. Of course, micro, small, and medium enterprise. MSMEs are very close to my heart because all my life, my mother was an MSME businessman. We have to work together and encourage these kind of businesses and give better hope and future for smaller businessmen. We need to work with an MOU with DTI so that we can provide assistance to MSME locators and hopefully be able to give recognition to them. I'm happy to report that the cumulative milestone for a cumulative investment for this year will, by second quarter of this year, we've already projecting reaching $10 billion US dollars. Creating a Subic tourism brand through signature landmarks and events. We are going to hold the first Summer Siren Festival here in Subic, and I was going to apologize to the mayor of San Narciso, but he's not here. This used to be done in San Narciso, but is now going to be held in Subic this year, and we have a committed 3-year contract for the Subic Summer Siren Festival. This will start on May 12 and will end on May 14. Through the help of the Metro Chamber Subic, we're hoping to bring back Open Gate. Open Gate is a project during the US Navy time. Yung pong mga taga rito, noon pong unang panahon, nakakakain lang kami ng mangsanas pag may Open Gate. So we're hoping to bring back with an Open Gate Grand Subic sale in November in time for the 25th anniversary of SBMA. Of course, we're hoping to come out with other activities. In fact, last week I gave instructions to our maintenance department. They gave me a design for the Christmas decorations that usually happens every year with the lights. And I said, ano naman yun? Bakit naman parang pang baryo? We are SBMA after all. So I told them, go to the internet, look at the pegs for London Christmas light. Look at the pegs for San Francisco Christmas light. Because we are not a barrio. We are Subic. If we would like to be a tourism and investment haven, We need to act like one, but we also have to look like one. We need to strengthen our marketing campaign to promote Subic as the next cruise ship playground. This is what I was telling you about. We're aggressively courting Star Virgo and convincing Genting Dream to come. And of course, we'll continue and expand our tourism campaigns and activities. Our chairman will explain this to you in detail later on, but in line with President Duterte's Dutertenomics, we have to build. We have to widen the access road to Morong. We have committed to the governor of Bataan that we'll be able to help them up in the access to Morong and providing a decent gate to Morong. We also need to the people of Olongapo who's wondering why have we not opened the Magsaysay Bridge as we remember them. The reason is it's not fit for use right now, so we need to repair that, and we'll be able to award that project very soon. We also need to develop the Naval Supply Depot. Maybe another public-private partnership, but if you ask me, I would rather that we pay for it ourselves if we can afford it, because the Naval Supply Depot is a money-making venture. It's a business venture, and we hope to be able to do it ourselves so that we will have a sustainable source of income for SBMA. Of course, right now we are collaborating with BCDA and DOTR on the Luzon Cargo Railway project. Monch is spearheading the program for the construction of SBMA Corporate Center. You know, when I came here, I realized, we don't have a decent office in the sense that we're all in it together and tipong, again, we have to look like one. If we're saying we're a multinational, we also have to look like one. And so we're hoping, we are going to do our corporate center by hook or by crook, and we'll have to do it now. And we're also hoping to start the construction of a Freeport museum. I personally believe that you have to look back at where you came from. Katulad po ng pagbabalik ko ngayon at katulad po ng paulit-ulit kong sinasabi na nangingilala ako kung saan ako nanggaling. Dito po ako nanggaling. And I would like to believe that we've lost some of that, or we have to regain some of that. And we hope that Freeport Museum will be able to help us rekindle, and so that our children will not forget what happened. I came back 25 years later. I'm close to 50 years old. My nephew, who's 4, will never understand what a volunteer is. So we're hoping that we can have that museum dedicated to Subic from its rich history from the Spanish and the US colonial times, to the story of saving Subic by the volunteers, and to all the hard work that we've done to make it happen now. So we hope to be able to do that also during our term. Freeport expansion. This is something that, again, I have been talking with our LGU partners. It's very important that we go out there already. We cannot wait until there's no available land. We know it's going to run out, but we cannot wait until it runs out. We have to work now. We need to work with our LGUs for the expansion plan, and even develop a master plan for such expansion, and even study the feasibility of reclamation as a strategy to address the limited land resources. Ito po ang pangarap ko. Ang pangarap ko po sana is to build new land. Because if we're out of land already, there's no way to do it, but we build one. So we hope to be able to reclaim land so that we can create more jobs, we can attract more investors here in Subic Bay, Freeport. As I close, I cannot stress or emphasize more than enough that we will anchor the Subic of the future on the values that have made Subic great in the past. In fact, I do not want to use the word past. Subic is great. Subic is great because we are all here and because we love Subic with all our heart. And that's enough to make things happen. The values, as I've said, malasakit, kusang loob, disiplina. These are the very same values that we want our children to have. These are the same values that we would like to practice every day in our lives. So why wouldn't we practice it in our jobs? Why wouldn't we practice it here as we do our business? These are the same values around which we should rally and work together, regardless of age, gender, rank, stature, community, or political inclinations. The seed of those values has long been planted. We have seen it bloom and flourish, but it still needs constant tilling, constant nurturing. Within this seed are the transformative values toward our shared vision and goal of winning through excellence. Yun lamang po, marami pong salamat sa kanilang lahat.
Thank you, Administrator Eisma, for your very enlightening State of the Freeport address.